Hello, Vincent. Hello, Ranveer.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine.
Thank you. So we will start from 5. Okay. 35. You can say ET time. Right. We can wait 5 minutes more.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Let them join first.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Let's wait a couple of minutes so we can start after that. Everyone, please go on mute. We will take your question at the end of session. Thank you. Ranbir Kaur. Yes, we can start. Okay, Vincent, please.
Hello, everyone. I hope you have had a great day today. We are going to look at assignment 3 and 4. I'll be presenting assignment 3, while my fellow co-mentor, Rambi, will be presenting assignment 4. Assignment 3 basically is about Git branching. And you see that Git branching is one of the very important ideas in Git. When I think about a line of work where you can play around, make changes without affecting the main project. You see, we normally see our project as a tree. And then you know that a tree has a trunk and also branches. The tree trunk, in this case, we are talking about Git branches, represents the main branch, the default branch. And when you talk about the default branch, it could be the main branch, or in some Git setups or settings, the master branch. And then when you want to create a new feature, you now, from that trunk, you now grow out a branch. Inside that branch, you can make your changes, you can play around, you can experiment, and whatever changes you have made or experimented upon will not affect the trunk, that is the main branch. And when you are comfortable with what you have done in your own branch, you can now merge to the main branch. And so the scenario we have here is that we already know we've been working on the CodeTrack website. And today we are going to add a new feature to that Assignment 1 and 2, and even deployed. And so we are going to add a new feature to that CodeTrack website, and that new feature is a contact page. Apart from adding the contact page, we're also going to add a link from the home page. As we do this together, we are going to create and switch branches, make isolated feature changes on a branch. We create atomic commits. Every little change we make, we need to commit. And then we verify that the main branch remains unchanged, even after we have made edits or some changes in our own branch. And when everything is good, we now merge the feature branch into the main and then validate the results. And before we go ahead, I want to believe all of us have carried that assignment, worked on assignment 1 and 2. That means that you have the CodeTrack repo already in your local machine with at least 2 commits. You have these files, the index.html file and the style.css file existing in your local repo. And I also want to believe we can access the index.html file in our local machine in a browser. So having said this, let's get down to work. For me, I'm going to use VS Code as my editor, and that is my VS Code. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
And I'm also audible. Now, I am in my VS Code, and you can see I am in my projects directory. But I am not in the CodeTrack website directory. So the first thing I need to do, just as we saw it here, is to change directory to the CodeTrack. And so to do that, let me get back to this. So you just change directory, you know the command cd CodeTrack. When I run cd CodeTrack, it will take me to the CodeTrack directory. Now, the next thing we need to do is to check, the next thing I need to do now is to check the status. What has happened since our last commit? We need to be sure that you are starting on a clean, starting clean from the default branch. As you will see, my default branch here is master. When you open your own might be main, but you can see mine is master. And so how do I check whether I am starting clean from the master branch for my own case? You need to run git status. You can see by running git status, I am running on my default branch. That is the master branch for my own, in my own case. And then there is nothing to commit. No on-stage files, nothing to commit. Therefore, I am working clean. Now, having checked that, I will now need to be sure which branch I am working on. And then to be sure of the branch I'm working on, I'm going to use this command, git branch. Git branch. If I run the command git branch, you can see I'm actually working on branch. And of course, branch is the only the master is the only branch here. I've not added any feature branch so far. And that is why when I run git branch, it is only the master branch that is displayed. And you can see the asterisk, assuming I have more than one branch. The asterisk here before the branch becomes important because it tells me the particular branch I am in. These things
Vincent,
are necessary because
Vincent,
when you want to work on a project, you must be sure that you are in that directory, in that.
Ranbir,
Yes, sir.
uh, I think he has some internet connectivity problem, maybe.
Mhm.
Okay, let them join again. I thought it's only me. I cannot see live there. I just got one message right now. Before 1 minute, not seeing the commands. Yes,
Yeah, the
Vincent.
VS Code onwards it's not
Yeah.
showing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I just
I
pinged.
went off
Yeah, now
some
it's
Actually,
network
fine.
issues. So
Now it's
sorry
fine.
about that.
it's okay.
Am I audible now? Is my screen visible now?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can.
perfect.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's go on quickly.
Okay, you can
Let's
if you
go on
want. Vincent,
quickly.
Vincent,
We are done with
No, I
Vincent,
think
you.
it's visible. It's visible now.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can switch off your camera, na? Then you'll
exactly,
save some
exactly.
bandwidth.
You
Yeah.
can switch off your camera. Okay.
let me stop using video so that
Yes, it's better now. Yeah, please share.
Okay, let me believe it gets better this way. So we are done with task number 1. And then task number 2, we are going to create a feature branch, and we will also switch to that feature branch. Now, if you want to create a branch, actually, you use the command git branch, and then you indicate the branch name. And that creates that branch for you. But the command going to run now is that I'm going to create a branch, and at the same time, I'm going to switch to that branch. Remember, I am exactly at my default branch. So I'm going to pick this. Let me just copy it. Okay. Now, this is it. Git checkout -b feature/contact page. Now, the feature branch I'm creating now is the feature/contact page. Now, if I use this command git checkout with dash or -b, it will create this feature branch and at the same time switch to it immediately. We shall confirm. So this is what we have. If I run it, you can see the feature branch is created and at the same time is switched into that feature branch. Now, let me be sure that I'm actually in the feature branch. How do I check? You need to run git branch. If you run git branch, you can now see that now we have 2 branches. Before now, we had only 1 branch, the default branch. Now we have 2 branches. One is the master branch, which is the default branch. The second branch is the feature/contact page branch. This is my feature branch. Again, you can see, take note of the asterisk, where the asterisk is. Among these 2, the asterisk is at the feature/contact page. That is to tell us that currently I am now working in the feature branch. I'm not in the main anymore. Now, let's move on to the next task. So, our next task is to add the contact.html on the feature branch. How do we do that? First of all, we need to create a file, contact.html. Now, let me get back to my editor. You can see I'm using Git bash. I'm not using PowerShell. I'm using Git bash in VS Code. So how do I create that contact.html? I use the touch command. That's what we learned when we did Linux for Developers. So I will just have to touch. What file am I creating? Contact.html. I would have created the contact.html file. If you look up here at my editor, the VS Code, you can see the file is created just by running that command. Now, what do we do next? Next, if you are using PowerShell, of course, instead of using touch that I used, because I'm working in Git bash, you just say vi contact.html. It will still create that file. Now, the next is to copy this code in HTML. I'm going to copy it and then paste inside the new file I just created. You have to be sure where you are copying to. I've copied it. We get back to the editor. Now, since I'm using VS Code, I'll just have to open that file. Look at the file, I've opened it. And then I will have to paste what the content I just copied. You can see that code is there. Now, let's look at the next task. We are taking it bit by bit. Now, already we have seen it exists, but we can still verify. To verify whether this file we have just created exists with that content, you run the ls command. And so let me clear my screen so that we have enough space for us to see through. Okay. Remember,
there's
you can see
HTML.
I am
Means that there's HTML line number 1.
Hello, sir.
See line number 1.
Oh. Okay.
You just have to remove that. That is
I
just
know.
as a, yeah.
Yeah, just to add, is it HTML stuff? So I think what I just have to do is this.
Yeah, you have to close and yes,
So
right.
it's already, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Don't worry. I think it's okay now. Please always take note, because if you copy from where I copied, you will have the same issue. So you must have to be sure that the HTML, that is the opening HTML, and then we need to close. Look at the closing here. Look at the closing there. So let's verify whether this file does exist here. Inside my feature branch, I have contact.html. I also have index.html, and I have style.html. These are the 3 files that are here. Okay, so let's move on. Now, again, we are going to stage and commit. But before we stage, we have to check the status. What has happened so far. And so we run git status again. Good. So we run git status, you can see we are now working on this branch, feature/contact page. There are some files that have been modified, but not tracked, not added, not prepared for saving. And that is why you are seeing they are untracked. They've not been prepared for saving. And so to prepare them for saving, you need to add this file before you commit. And so the next thing we do is to prepare the contact.html for saving. Make it ready for commit. And to do that, you need to run git add, then the file name. So git add, file name is contact.html. Contact.html. When you run this command, no issues. It has been prepared. It has been added and prepared for the next step, which is to commit it. And so the next step is actually to run the command git commit. Now, let me just copy it out. All right, git commit. When I run commit, it's going to save this latest update, this latest change, this latest modification, the contact.html. Now, it will need to save it with a message. There must be a commit message, and that is what this -m is doing here. You can see the message actually is in quoted marks. What is the message? Fit, in bracket, contact, then add contact page. If I run it, you can see that by running this, some changes have been made. This commit ID has been assigned to this particular commit. I think with the structure of this assignment, this should be the 3rd commit. We shall find out later. And what message is associated with this 3rd commit? This is the commit ID A2332B6. The message associated with it is fit, contact, add contact page. And so, sorry, this feature is this. Then the commit ID, sorry, is the 100644. We shall see later. Now, the next task is to add a contact link. Yes, let's add a contact link. But if you like, let me run a command to check the history. You know, the history so far for the CodeTrack project or website. And that history, I can get it by running git log -- one line -3. Even if I don't put this job, I will get what I'm looking for. Now, by running git log, we want to find the commit history so far in this project. And -- one line specifies that every commit should have only one line, should be structured into just one line. And then this -3 or -3 specifies that we are looking for the 3 most recent commits. Of course, the only commit so far for this project, the CodeTrack from assignment 1 and 2 is these 3. As we have made quite a number of commits and you want to specify you want to tell to specify that the history should only produce the most recent commits, you specify the number of the commits to be produced. So you can see the first commit is this with the commit ID and the message. The second commit is this with the commit ID and the message. You can see that the second commit is on master on the default branch. And then this third commit, which is the most current commit, is not on the master branch, but now on this feature branch. You can see that is the essence of this history. So having seen this, let's move on. Now, we are now going to add a navigation link to the contact page and then commit separately. There is need for us to do a kind of minute unit commit. You don't do all the changes at once and commit at once. Each change you make, you commit so that it will be tracked. As mean you want to go back to roll back, it will be easier for you to roll back to the latest change. That's the sense of making small miniature commits, you know, as you walk along. Now, what do we do next? We are going to open the index.html file in the editor. And so look at that file. Look at our index.html. You open it. That is what it is. Let me bring this down a bit. Okay, the next thing we are going to do is to scroll a bit down. Okay, I'm already in the footer. Let me scroll up a bit. There's a particular place we need to add a link. Okay, I think it's here. It's talking about this paragraph. You can see the paragraph, the opening, and the opening tag, and then the closing tag. Then the paragraph is here. This one remains, but we are going to add another one here. You know, so let's create that space. We're going to add another paragraph. Okay. What are we going to add? Below where you have that playlist is specified here. Find the existing paragraph with class playlist line. That's what I just showed you. That playlist line contains the YouTube playlist link. Let me show us again. Look at it. This is playlist link. If you want to join, okay. This is not the YouTube. Is there any other one? No. Okay, but this is the only playlist line I have here. Sean is telling us again. Okay, we are going to insert the new paragraph directly below it. The playlist line, the one containing YouTube playlist link. But what we saw there is the WhatsApp group link. I'm not sure there is any YouTube playlist link. And so let me copy that class. We go back there and check. Okay, so I want to be very sure about the YouTube playlist. Need to find where it is. If not, then we use that. That's the end. I don't think there's anything like that here. And so let's put this below this WhatsApp group playlist, that link. So I now have to, okay, if you copy and paste, look at what has just happened. So what do? You need to format this properly for that class to really work. And so this want to reach has to be under that class. You know, some index after the class, that is what will happen. Then the HR will also be at the same point with this. And then the closing tag, you also have to adjust it to make sure it is in line with the closing tag. So we have this link and we have the second link for the contact.html. Hello? Okay, so let's move on. What do we do next? We have to save. My VS Code is set up in such a way that any edit, any changes you make, it auto-saves. So I want to believe this new change I've made is saved already, but then we have to check what we have done so far. What is the status? So let's run git status. Let's run git status. If we run git status, you can see, first of all, we are working in the feature branch. That is the feature/contact page branch. I have made some changes for commit, but these changes have not been staged. I have just modified them. I have not staged them. I have not prepared them for commit. And so I think that will be the next thing we do before we run commit. So next, we have to stage and then commit. To stage, we run the git add command. That is git add. Remember, the particular file in question we are staging is the index.html file. So we are going to put the file name index.html file, and you run it. It's now staged. If you run git status again, it will tell you that the index.html is now staged. And so we are now ready to commit. So to commit now, we are going to run this command. Let me copy it out. Let me clear so I can have some space there. Okay, so git commit with this commit message. Remember, the feature we are actually adding is a navigation link, different from what we did earlier on. We added a contact page. If you look at the commit message, you will understand that it follows through with actually what you want to achieve. And so when we run this command, a change has occurred in the index.html file, and then that has been saved, because the essence of the commit command is to permanently save the changes you have made. So having done this, what we need to do next is to, of course, just like we know, when you stage and commit, this is actually what we do in the industry. For whatever change you make, you need to commit. One commit we made for the contact page, and then this second commit we have made for the navigation linking. And so now task 5, we want to be sure that the feature branch is on its own. It has not affected whatsoever what happens in the main branch. For me, the master branch. So what do? We will have to switch back to the main branch. Mine is the master branch. How do we switch back? You run the git checkout and then the branch name. So I'm going to run git checkout. Git checkout. What is my default branch? It is master. I have switched to the master branch. That is my default branch. That is the trunk in this case. I've moved away from the branch. I am now in the trunk. And then look at this. Look at this. This is my project. This is the CodeTrack website project, of course. Now, I only have 2 files here, the index.html file and the style.css file. What has happened to the contact page? It's not here. Why? Because whatever changes I made in the feature branch does not affect what is in the contact in the default branch. The website can still run. Visitors, users of the website will still use it the way it is. No commit has been, no merge has been made. The changes I made, the modifications I made were only made in the branch. And that is the beauty of Git branching. You can play around, create a branch, play around the branch, and make changes. Everything remains in your branch. The main still remains what it is. Now, once you are sure you are satisfied that your branch is okay, everything is working well, the next thing is for this you have made in the branch to the main, to the trunk itself. So let's look at this. By what I have shown us, okay, if you want me to still run LOS, you will see it. By what I have shown us, in the main, in the default branch, remember now I'm in the default branch. If I run LOS in the default branch, you can see I only have index.html and then style.css. The contact page is not present because it is in its feature branch. It has not been merged. So I think the next task we need to do is to merge the feature branch. We use the git merge command to merge to the feature to merge the feature branch to the main. And then let me just copy out this git merge command. So when I run this, remember, the git merge command is run when you are now in the default branch, not in your feature branch. That is why I had to move away from the feature branch, the feature/contact page branch, back to the default branch. Once I am in the default branch, the main, and then I run this command, git merge, then that feature branch name. In this case, it is feature/contact page. Everything is updated, and then you see the contact.html file has been added. If I run LOS now, even if you are seeing it here because I'm using VS Code editor, if I run LOS here, as me, you are not using VS Code, you know, you are using your PowerPoint or just Git bash. If I run this, you can now see there is contact.html now. Let's scroll up a little bit to see what we had when we ran LOS earlier on, before we merged. running LOS before merge gave us index.html, and then style.css. After merging, we now run LOS, and now we now have the contact.html file. This is beautiful. That is the beauty of Git. And so that is what it is. Now we can expect everything we have done. Look at the history. Run this command, git log. Okay, let me move this a bit. And then when you copy, you have to be careful. You can see after copying, my G is no longer there to make it Git. Is now returning as a it. So you have to be watchful. If I had run it that way, it would have introduced errors. So you have to be watchful. So we have git log. We are going to assess the history of what has happened so far, all the commits, the history, formatted into one line. There will be a graphical representation, a visual representation of that history. At what point were changes made? In what branch were those changes made? Then everything we run. You look at this. This is where we started when we added index.html and then the style sheet. What we added now. Remember, I'm now in the default branch. This is what we added now. This where are we currently? That's the head, the most current one. That is this commit, fit, bracket, navigation. What did we really add? We added the contact page link. So that is exactly what we have done so far. And going forward, though it's optional, but you need to remove the branch you have created. So to remove the merged branch, because we've already merged it, and all the changes you made in that branch are now in the main, you now have to remove the feature branch. To remove it, we use git branch with option D and then the branch name. If I do that now, let me clear this. I have git branch with the feature branch name. We'll remove this -D specifies that this named branch should be removed. And so successfully, we have deleted that feature branch. And final touch to this, if we run git branch again to verify whether that branch actually has been deleted, we run git branch. If you run git branch will show you all the branches available in this repo, in this project. And you can see with me that the feature branch is no longer there. What we have now is only the default branch. That is master for me. Yours could be main. And of course, that is where I am currently working in. That's the master branch, the default branch. So that is that. About this demo. We've been able to see to confirm the state of our repo, and we created a branch and switched to that branch, that feature branch. We added the contact.html file on the feature branch, not in the main. We also added the contact page link on the feature branch, not on the main. We verified whether the main, that is the default branch, remained the way it has been, different from the changes we have made in the feature branch. We saw they were all different, because the changes has not been merged to the main branch, to the default branch. We eventually merged, And once we merged, we now saw that the changes we made in the feature branch has been added to the default branch. We inspected the history and we saw the number of commits we have made. Eventually, finally, we had to clean up by deleting the feature branch. Again, let's see whether these changes we have made, whether we can view them in the browser. Oh, let's see. Okay, this is our CodeTrack. Let me look at this. Okay, let me just open. Let's see how it goes. Okay, it's here. You can see it here. You can see, look at this. Look at the navigation link we added here. We added it just below the join WhatsApp community link. Let's see whether that link, you can see it here. The contact page is actually working. That is what it is. So thank you very much. I think I can stop sharing now. If there are questions, then.
Excellent presentation. Very good.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yes, guys, please ask if you have any question. Please raise your hand, ask your question. Yes, Vincent, Honor 2. Yes, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Engineer Vincent. You've really done well for us. Thank you so much. Please, my question is a bit deviated from the topic. I wanted to ask if I can switch from the environment I'm using. Like I was using Git, normal Git before to work. So can I shift from that Git to now start using VS Code as my editor? Is it possible?
Yeah, I think it's possible if you install your VS Code, and then I think you should also have a Git Bash extension there. You can run with Git. Yes, it's possible. When you open your VS Code, locate that particular directory, that project directory. Once you locate it and open it in VS Code, everything runs seamlessly, just as you did in the other version of it.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, is there any question? Please ask your question. If not, then we are going to move assignment number 4.
Okay. No more questions
yes,
or doubts?
I think no more question. You have explained everything.
Okay, I can't stop sharing. I can stop sharing now. Thank you very much. Thank you for the time, sir. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you so much. Excellent. Ranbir, you want to mute?
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Vincent. So we are going to start with the next assignment. That is our assignment 4, setting up GitHub for CodeTrack. Okay. So in this assignment, it has been asked to create a GitHub account. Just a minute, I'm just moving. I hope it is visible to you, my screen.
Yes, wait.
Okay. So these are the requirements for this assignment. For task 1, we have to create GitHub account, and there are steps that we have to follow. Open GitHub account. So I already have a GitHub account, so I have created another GitHub account. So we are going to create another GitHub account. Sure. So this is how you have to log in, or you have to move to GitHub website, github.com. Then I have created one email ID. You would have your own. You need to provide the username that you want it to be displayed. Currently, I'm using Ranbir11 as my original GitHub account, but here is for demo purpose, I'm using username as Ranbir29ADMI. Okay, and country name I have provided. So for this, receive occasional product updates, I'm not selecting this option, creating the account. So verification is complete. Okay, I need to move again username because I don't remember the username. Okay, let me see. It will be 39a@gmail.com. So this GitHub account is created with that username. So this is the dashboard that is required for the assignment. I'm sharing this information using PPT. So what we have to do is to create GitHub account and to access the dashboard. So we are having the dashboard of GitHub account, okay? So next one is to explore GitHub effectively using explore. We have to go to explore, then trending, and finally search, okay? So for explore, we are exploring over here in GitHub, okay? Then is trending. What are the trending repository in GitHub? You can see over here. Developers, their names and their repositories, you can see, and you can follow up them also. I think these screenshots are required. Then is, okay. So if you already have a GitHub account, then you can skip creating this GitHub account, okay? And otherwise you have to provide the screenshot of your GitHub account. If your company requires 2FA, means two-factor authentication, then we need to enable it. And it has been recommended in this assignment that we have to enable two-factor authentication. And because on my original account, I have not authenticated, so I'm going to authenticate it. Okay. So I'm going to scan it. Let me scan it.
How you reached here?
Okay. So in your GitHub account, there would be settings. In settings, password and authentication, two-factor authentication. two-factor authentication is not enabled yet, then I have to click and enable it. Okay. For this, I have to scan the code.
And for this, you all have to download authenticator app on your mobile.
Yes. Yes. Add verification code. It's not allowing. Let me see. Okay, password. It is giving password.
You can use SMS authentication also if you want.
Yeah, I got the code. 736.
It is very important. Please download this because if you forget your password, then it will help you to recover that.
Yes. So I've downloaded it, the file, the password. Now two-factor authentication is enabled on my GitHub account. Okay. So one of this task is done. You can give this snapshot of this as well, but it is not required. It has been done. So it's not asked. And okay, let's move to task 1. Create a GitHub account that we already created using GitHub browser, complete email verification. We did so these days email verification notification doesn't come. In case you had seen, I have not received any notification, email notification. I cannot show it at the moment because let me see if I can see show. No. So I have not received any notification because I had tested it. Then is go to your dashboard home screen. We are already able to go to dashboard or home screen. Okay. So first screenshot that is required for this assignment is GitHub dashboard home. So you can easily take this snapshot. Second screenshot is required for GitHub, then your username. Okay, in my case, when I'm using my own account, so I'm going to profile. So this is my account. Okay. So you can take snapshot of this page.
And please update this profile when you create this. Please update all these points what you have just seen, right?
So task 2 is to explore GitHub like professional. So for this, we already seen like how to go to our dashboard. Then we had explored. We went to explore. Okay, this is the explore screen. Then we went to trending as per the requirement in the assignment. Okay, you can see all the repositories that are trending at this moment and the developers that had contributed to repositories. Okay. So next one is to search the open source project that has been now searched for the Epic book. So for this, we are copying the epic book that has been asked. So we are going to use this search bar over here. So you can see there are many repositories with the name the epic book, but we have to select the first one, as you know, that Praveen sir's repository, the epic book. Okay, we are going to click on this. There are many ways of getting into and searching the repositories. Suppose in case you know the owner and the repository name, then you can search using this, the owner name / the repository. So over here, again, in case I'm going to back to the screen in the search bar, I'm clicking on over here. Then you can see it displays only the owner and the repository. Okay. Second option, you can search the epic book in name. So over here, okay. So with the name, the epic book. Third option, in case you are already familiar, okay, you don't know the owner name, but you know the repository name, and you know that stars are more than 100. Okay, so you can search the repository by providing this information. Okay, so this way you can search the repository through the search bar. So next one is, it has been asked to click star at least one repository. So we are using this repository and we are going to star it and then fork it. Then, okay, let's star this repository into our account because I'm using a new account, as you already had seen. So I'm clicking on this repository and here is star. Okay, so I'm clicking on this option. It has been starred and it is more than 107 stars. So what is exactly star? What does star mean? That you are bookmarking the repository and you are liking this repository. It shows the popularity of the repository as well. Okay, so what next? It has been asked to click fork one public repository. Okay. So we are going to fork this repository. For fork, we are going to click on this option. So I'm going to create the repository with the same name, and it is going to be forked into my account. That is my own account, RunB29A code. Okay. And description, in case you want to specify more about this, you can mention. Otherwise, we are going to continue with this. So you can see in my account, I'm clicking over here. Then, okay. Clicking over here, then you can see there are repositories. I mean, there is only one repository. We are clicking on repository. You can see the epic book repository is here. Okay, so we fork this repository. That is one of the requirement of this assignment. So for this task, you have to provide screenshot 3 that is trending. Then fourth screenshot that is required for this task is to star the repository. We have starred the epic book repository. then is we already forked this repository and it displays in our account. Okay, this screenshot you have to provide. And next task is task 3. This is to update your GitHub profile. And before that, I would like to explain about, or tell you about how to create one repository in case you want. You have to click on new and you can give any name to this repository. Suppose I am mentioning it over here like 28th of January. It's 28th for me now. Okay, 28th of January 2026. Okay. I'm giving the same description over here. I am providing README file over here by clicking on or hovering on this button, creating the repository. Okay, this has created the repository with README file in it. And this repository is public repository. You can make it private also. You can test it and you can change it to private repository. Why private repository? Because sometimes a few of the developers, they don't share the information with others, so they can make it private. Okay. So, and in case you want to experiment more things on GitHub, there is one option related to CodeSpace where you can experiment servers. Okay, you can explore more about CodeSpace. Otherwise, I'm also planning to share my blog related to CodeSpace. You can see on my LinkedIn profile in few days. Okay, so next assignment task is about the profile. Okay, so okay, we are moving to profile. Okay, I'm going to my own profile. So you can see my profile that has some information related to my bio, okay, about me. And what is requirement of this assignment is that you need to provide or you need to add on your photograph picture and update the bio with the information like cloud and DevOps enthusiast, and then learning GitHub and Git. You need to update your location, company, website, profile picture, and save changes. So this is task 3, and you have to provide the snapshot of your profile, GitHub profile. So this is my GitHub profile. So you can say it is a kind of portfolio also. I have updated few of the information like certifications. I did certification in AWS, Azure, Oracle. Okay, I provided this information, technical skills, current focus, feature project. In case you are working on any of the tasks during this DMI, you can update over here. You can make similar tabular form. Okay, and yes, this is optional in case you're not so active over here in GitHub, then you need to skip this. And you can also add your LinkedIn, Medium, GitHub account links over here. So when you're clicking on Medium, you are transferred to your Medium account. Okay. And these are the repositories that I worked on. I would also like to share a few of the accounts of the people with whom I had worked during DMI cohort. So I'm just copying it. You can see how actively he has contributed during the last year, 804 contributions. Okay. So in case you want to see Praveen sir's contribution, I think it's okay. So you can see 1,447 contributions during the last year. So Anjana's profile, one of our co-mentors during this cohort. So she has added the picture and provided the information bio, and you can see the contributions.
So everyone, what are you seeing? What are the important things she's showing? Are you getting what are the main things you can see on this profile? So you have to make it beautiful, okay? Like you have to give your photo and all the small things you have to fill.
Okay, so in case I'm also working on one of the repositories, you guys also can use this kind of structure in your repository for, during this DMI. So this would also display as your portfolio for DevOps. So this way you can make weekly progress topic wise, week 0. So you can document over here. Week 1, you can document that information over here. Okay. So you can also add on the repository that you are using as a reference, like the Epic book. When you are clicking on view source, it redirects to Praveen sir's Epic book repository.
Excellent.
So this is how this assignment you have to complete. Thank you.
Yes, guys, you can ask any question. Please raise your hand and ask your question.
I would also like to share Anjana's repository. She has also worked on this. Okay, let me show.
You can share your on.
It's not redirecting.
Yeah,
it's not
people are
redirecting
asking.
to the page. Okay, this is how you can add on your weekly task. You can add on your LinkedIn post also related to your first week's assignment, second week's assignment. This way, it would be very strong portfolio of yours on your GitHub account.
It's very beautiful. Very good. Everyone should learn from here. Yes, if you have any. Yes, great. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Rabbi, good evening. Very
Good
lovely presentation. I don't
Thank
actually
you.
have a question, but I'm soliciting. Maybe you can also give us a session on, will I call it, GitHub optimization and probably LinkedIn optimization, because I really love the way you created the structure of your GitHub. So I
Okay.
would grateful if you can give that session for us, because this is lovely. I must confess, I'm impressed.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. We have a session after 15 minutes on LinkedIn. Okay, Samantha will take care of that. And there's a different URL, meeting URL. Okay.
Sorry, I just have one more question. On the WhatsApp, they pasted
Please
a
join.
meeting for
Going to
1900. Would that still be a session, because we have done the number 4 now?
Assignment 3 and Assignment 4 completed now, right?
Yes.
And after
Yeah, you
15
pasted
minutes,
it. Okay.
after
What
15 minutes,
next?
we will have another meeting for LinkedIn. Okay, session on LinkedIn.
Okay. So LinkedIn. Okay.
Yeah, there's a different meeting URL. You can join there.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, guys, see you again. Thank you so much. Excellent presentation by